or mainly the majority of the top tiers? That's it. No desync, by the way. Oh yeah? Yeah, there's no desync even in the console. Okay. So let's begin with some basics. Show me your ideal 3 versus 3 team for the game. I don't care about the characters not being top tiers. I don't care about the characters not being in the right order. Show me just the 3 characters you think you're most comfortable with. I don't know if I said that correctly in English, by the way. GT Goku. Okay, give me a second. Okay, don't worry. I'm gonna stress you out with this. Or maybe just like this. And I messed up, of course. Page with the counterplay on the menu. Yeah, secret Italian text. Don't tell anyone. Oh, seems like Funky's back. Yeah. And he's showing me his team. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna pick your sim characters. I'm gonna show you step by step something, because you cannot play neutral the same way with different characters, basically. And you actually have 3 very difficult characters in order to apply some neutral gameplay. You basically rely on strong punishment with your characters. If someone plays safe, I would pick 100% freeze if I was playing against characters with armor. I see. Even if it's not the best choice, it's understandable. But it's okay. We will transform him in battle to show you just the most interesting things. Okay. So let's go with Cell. Cell is kind of hard to understand, because you would say, oh, it's insanely fast. Even he has actually the fastest movement in the game, movements level 6, along with some other characters. He has good accuracy key blast. Then you would say he has very powerful blast too. You know, this thing is just super OP. But how to combine everything to get some neutral gameplay and just to smack any opponent by just playing neutral? There's not actually a very precise answer to this. You just have to understand when it is your turn. The turn system in this game is not very easy understandable. Not very easy to understand. We are gonna talk about priority. Basically, there are some moments where you're supposed to be attacking because it's the most comfortable thing you can do. And there are some moments where you should just move away from your opponent or defend because that's the best thing you can do. And in order to understand when you have priority or not, you have to gain experience by playing and playing the game. I will give you an example. I will try to give you an example. In a moment like this, you know, we are very distant, and I'm throwing some key blast. Who has the priority in this exact frame? Player 1 or player 2, in your opinion? and why. Let's try to make some very basic statements about the game. You have to think right now with a chess mentality. It's kind of a very equal position between white and black, and you have to understand whether white is better or black is better because of the initiative, the priority. Theory crafting time. Okay, let me read. Okay, I will give you some time to think about this. We say player 2, since I can move while you're stationary. If you hit me or blocked you, I would have a priority as player 1, my educated guess. Everything is correct, but I would say neither player 1 nor player 2 has the initiative right now. Only because of one little detail. The distance between the characters. It's true, player 2 can actually move away from the key blast, but what does it gain? Nothing. So let's try to reproduce another situation. I'm gonna leave my start menu if you want to deflect the key blast. Oh, I wait for your answer. Understandable. Yeah, you have to understand this concept because it seems like very stupid at first, but it's very important to understand the distances, the concept of the distance, because a lot of mechanics and maneuvers are very effective if done very fast. And in order to be fast, you have to be very close to your opponent. It's very important to understand the distances and how to approach your opponent. So I'm leaving the start menu right now. Be ready to deflect in 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice. So right now, who has the priority? Player 1 or player 2? By the elements we just analyzed, you should come with a very easy answer. Definitely player 2, since we're closer. Player 2 has the initiative here. In the moment, he's moving away from the key blast, and in the movement, he saw the key blast from his opponent coming. Because if now player 2 tries to key blast, he will be late. Being late doesn't mean that my key blast as player 1 will hit player 2 before. But just because I threw my key blast before, so I will be able to move before you. I can anticipate everything from you. So as long as player 2 wants to move sideways possibly, player 2 will be definitely okay. And player 1 needs to be very careful. So definitely right now, player 2 in 70% of the cases will have the initiative. I'm gonna to leave my start menu in 3, 2, 1, and go. So ready. Nice. Okay. So I want you to block. Who has the initiative here? Let's suppose I hit you with a key blast. Okay? You blocked in this exact frame the key blast. Who has the initiative? Player 1. It was very easy, but still a lot of very advanced players who try to create initiative as player 2. That's mainly the reason that brings a lot of players. What? Whatever. In this situation, a lot of advanced players commit to this mistake, like hey, you are getting EV pressure, your opponent is very close to you, and with a quick movement is gonna hoop your ass. What are you gonna do? And they will try to attack or create initiative there. That's the main reason that brings a lot of advanced players to completely misplay some moment. And with this, I basically explained to you how to read the game neutral. You have to rely on your field vision and on your distance from your opponent. I suggest you to don't do this, for example, up and down. Or if you want to do that, be sure to immediately reposition yourself into an angle where you're able to see your opponent. You need to be able to understand where's your opponent, what he's gonna do, and how you can stop him. As a basic technique of approaching, you have to understand and to analyze what's your opponent doing. I'm from this distance. I'm charging my ki. What would you do here? As player 2, of course. I'll try to hit you with a ki blast. Funny thing is that both you and Taz give me the same answer, which is correct, but this exact frame, you see this frame that I'm showing you, I'm talking about this. So you and Taz as player 2 would try to ki blast me. The answer is correct, but not completely, because you're missing something. Let's say, okay, you're charging. Let's suppose you're charging. I do a ki blast and stop. Nothing changes. What should I do after ki blasting you? And how many ki blasts do you recommend in order to stop my opponent from doing what's doing? What? No. No. Definitely exaggerating here. In order to stop your opponent from charging ki, you only need one ki blast. And then, in order to apply a non-ridden pressure, by non-ridden pressure, I mean like you're creating pressure, but you don't actually want to create pressure with a movement that's not meant to create pressure. I will shoot one that move, okay? We are approaching the correct answer. Move towards where? Left, right, back, front, down, up. We have many directions in this 3D game right now. I guess in this frame I could approach you in some way. Yeah, that's correct. So let's imagine, if you can remove the start menu, please. Let's imagine you're just charging ki. Okay? I need to stop you from charging ki. From this distance, it's just one ki blast and approach. I'm so close that in your mind you would never try to charge a ki blast anymore. Otherwise, I would flank you and hoop your ass. And this is where your distance concept gets stronger. From this distance, you do basically the same, ki blast and approach. But then, after like half a second from here, you have to ask yourself, okay, what to do now? And the best answer is maybe move around your opponent, trying to understand what's gonna do. But if you had the death beams, shouldn't you be a bit more careful to go closer? Yeah, that's why you want to provoke your opponent. Then even the minimum side movement would make Sal's death beams whiff really, really hard. And you have to understand that A move gives you a reward, but when the move whiffs, you can be punished in an even easier way. So, with this basic movement in the neutral, you want to provoke him into stopping what's doing. You stop him from what he's doing, and then you have to pretext to move around. That's why throwing this is way more dangerous. Let's suppose I'm buffering 3 Ki blasts from here. If player 2 is so fast, then is gonna throw some death beams against me. I can't move after 3 Ki blasts, because I need to wait all the 3 Ki blasts to be thrown out in order to move. But with 1 Ki blast, you are very safe from this. Especially if you combine this with side movement. And then there are so many advanced techniques, like the kiting, where you basically hit your opponent with Ki blast and get to his back, like this. But this is advanced. So let's say we approach our opponent, and we want to stop him from doing everything. Then you go for this, the dash Ki blast. You know, with the dash Ki blast, you throw many Ki blasts at once. Cell does 3 for 3 repetitions, for a total of 9 Ki blasts. But right now we are interested in the single one, just 3. What are the options? Our opponent could deflect. Yeah, and we can immediately block. When we get a Ki blast deflected onto our face and our opponent immediately responds with a melee, we can block if you're buffering the block. So it's not an actual punish. Second option is what I'm showing to you right now. Pressing circle during the Ki blast. That allows us to immediately leave the melee scenario. So it's a kind of a hit and run strategy. By the way, I don't know if I'm doing something bad. I couldn't deflect those 3 blasts. Basically, while you're holding your gut button, go left and right with your analog stick. The faster you will go, the more accurate it will be for you to deflect. Yeah, exactly. Remember to always anticipate the Ki blasts which are coming. So basically, you have a very safe poke from this distance if you press X triangle and then hold the circle immediately after. Because if your opponent is able to deflect, you can block. But you get also this extra effect where you go away, you position yourself again into poking distance, and then boom, you get to the melee. Play around with this thing. This is a very generic neutral strategy that you can apply by just changing the rhythms and get very solid aggression here. I think the same thing applies with this Frieza. And I guess for Tapion, even if Tapion throws less Ki blasts and you have to be more cheap with your Ki blast usage. It's the same concept, by the way. Okay, let's pick again the same characters, so you get full life cell. Yeah, we have been very fast here. Okay. And right now I want to show you some cool traps. Some very basic traps you want to use, okay? If you want to use your Dragon Dash... Oh, sorry. I didn't see that. If you want to use your Dragon Dash, be sure to go full charge. Then you have a very cool trap with some Ki Blast. I think with Cell is 3 Ki Blast, but if you throw 3 Ki Blasts, you're able to flank your opponent. You actually have a strong frame advantage where player 2 here can only deflect the Ki Blast. Cannot do anything in contrast to what you're doing. The key is to charge your Dragon Dash at the maximum. Then throw some T-Blast, and then you reach your positioning real quick. Be careful, because if your opponent deflects, you will not be able to do this. Watch. You still can approach, yeah, but it's different, it's less rewarding. Now I will block to show you. Yeah, exactly. You can be quicker with your flanking, by the way. But I guess it's because of the online. You performed some good flanking in the previous matches against me, so I know you can do that. Air jammed ascending battle. Damn, that's very uncomfortable. So this is the first thing. You know, very basic, very easy. Watch out when you approach opponent with the Dragon Dash, because you know this thing can always happen. And I suggest you to go for the neutral charge here. From the Dragon Dash, of course, because directional charges can be directionally blocked, except for left and right. Yeah. Second very interesting strat, it's when you have a Blast 2 and you're in the melee, you can actually trick your opponent's mind with a very easy trick. Let's imagine that I'm doing a combo, boom, 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 boom. You're expecting a melee choice, and then you go for the Blast 2. Just stop and go for the Blast 2. 99% of the opponent are just gonna block your Blast 2, and then you will have a free flanking. Try to block. Watch this. And boom. Very deadly trap. You get a super deadly and effective trap. For what? For just stopping your combo and going for the Blast 2. If your Blast 2 is a -1 Blast 2, is even more effective, because -1 makes it more cancer. Yeah, exactly. It depends on the -1, by the way, because I think you can block vanish the cell death beams. Try to do that against me. I mean, you punch, you do a combo, then you suddenly stop and go for the -1 death beams. Okay, I was ready. So, Funky, I was talking about this coaching session. So, as you can see, Funky, you can block vanish the cell things. I guess no one will know this, but I want to show you a little variation. Watch this. What happens if I just do this during the combo? Like this, stop and go for this. This is unblockable -1. Who can defend against this? This is deadly with Tapion. You should abuse this with Tapion, actually. You do it on the 7th or 8th hit. You have to understand when your opponent is was gonna like to block. So I've done it, but they dodge it. You have to be careful, because anyone can dodge with Wild Sense or After Image. So Just watch for the blast dogs. Stop and blast. I can assure you, dude, this thing is very hard to deal with. And then boom boom. Go go go. Try. I'm gonna be your dummy here. Nice lag. Don't tell me it crashed. Don't tell me it crashed. Don't tell me it crashed. That pose. Yeah.